feedback as well. I'll be around afterwards. So, game number 2. Can SeleCT bring this back? This is going to be the it's going to be the moment to find out. The moment, maybe not quite the moment, maybe just the time. In the lower right hand corner on Frost, we're going to be starting off with our pink Zerg player representing Corporal Gaming, JonnyREcco. And in the upper right hand corner from Dignitas, it's going to be the blue Terran player SeleCT. SeleCT, why you scout? Not greedy enough. Free win versus proxy. These guys having a little bit of banter at the start of this game. And SeleCT, I'm pretty sure he's not going to try and proxy again this time. So, felt like he had to do something, and that's exactly what he did. Didn't work out for him in the end, and this is why we are in this situation where SeleCT is down a game. And, yeah. Postal Overlord Scout was clutch, indeed it was. Ibrox93, who's playing? Well, by the time I answer this, you will already be able to see on the screen. At least it wasn't another biomine parade. Well, you know, biomine's not even that strong anymore. Right? Is it? I mean, it's not as strong as it used to be with the mine nerf. I mean, not just that, it's pretty much as strong as it used to be, but Zergs have also learned how to play against it. Like, they know a lot better how to deal with certain things, how to set off the mines, how to bait the mines, and stuff like that. And that's a big factor in how TVZ looks nowadays. And I think the statistics went from being pretty much even to maybe slightly Zerg favoured. But don't quote me on that. That's just what I remember from a while ago. But I'm not sure on the latest monthly statistics or so. Let's go. Game 2 is underway. And we see JonnyREcco just with a hatch followed by his pool and his gas. And you see SeleCT here. So Reaper expand on Frost, pretty interesting. I mean, again, Frost's a good map for Reapers, but against Zerg, it's so large, so often you do just see that I've just been you know, it's so large, it might just be better to throw down the CC first. But hey, you don't want to die to something, especially when you're game down. So SeleCT not being overly greedy here, throws the CC on the low ground, in fact, and he's going to go into a pretty fast reactor in factory now. So just going to go into, not pretty fast, but I mean, he's only got a single Reaper out instead of the usual double Reaper, so a bit faster than usual. Factory and reactor coming down, and SeleCT comes in here, he sees that gas is on the way, and he's going to just be able to start picking off these drones. A couple of Lings chasing this Reaper away as well, and this Reaper not able to get a drone kill yet. Maybe this will be the first, depends how quickly JonnyREcco reacts, but gets it into a spore crawl in plenty of time. Queen's about to pop out, and this Reaper now definitely just has to turn around and go home. Can't do much else. You can still kind of move around and run in and run out, but it's highly unlikely it's actually going to get a kill, and this drone straight away moved over to a gas. So SeleCT just trying to be annoying, but can't achieve too much with it. And yeah, so factory's on the way down, reactor's already up, so getting this reactor a bit early actually allows them to get a couple of Marines out early on instead of the second Reaper, and that's pretty interesting because I suppose nowadays you don't really see the second Reaper even being brought across the map anyways. Usually you see the second Reaper left at home to defend the CC, so usually you only have this single Reaper on the map or across the map anyway, and you know, 2 Marines are better than a Reaper, so it's just kind of common sense, I guess, at the end of the day, I guess. Depends how you look at it. We see a starport on the way here once again from SeleCT. This is the second time this series he's opened up with a starport. This time at least he does have that natural command center down. But only on a single gas, so again looking as though he might just go for the Hellion drop compared to a Banshee play, because without that second gas he's not going to be able to afford his cloak and his Banshees. So we'll see what he wants to do here very soon. His Reaper coming back home at the perfect time and knowing when speed's going to come up, so he doesn't want to get that caught out on its own. So nice play by SeleCT, just pulling that back, and he is actually going to go for a Banshee, but still, I mean, I guess he could go Cloak Banshees just off a single gas. He's only going to be able to really make one, or it could just be Cloakless, of course, a possibility. And going for that Banshee first definitely suggests that is what it could be. Just a single Banshee, get a bit of map control, and I mean even Cloakless, you can get some damage done. Not too much, because generally the Queens can shut it down pretty easily, but you'll always be able to find yourself one, maybe two workers to pick off here and there, so... These Hellions just doing a nice job right now, just clearing out any lings which have been sent to hold positions on the map. And SeleCT finishes off his wall off here as well, so his wall off completely finished up, and the third CC about to come down for him as all of these Hellions moving across the map here, and just keeping map control, not overcommitting too much though, and a couple of more lings taken down at the front. Banshee now spotted by JonnyREcco. If he was paying attention to them Zerglings, very possible that he just might not have been, because he's not starting any sword calls or anything. That being said, is it necessary? Yeah, I don't really think so. He's got 3 queens at the front here. He can get to his natural pretty quick. He's got queen in the main. It's pretty much going to be enough. We are going to see a bit of an attack onto this third base. 3 queens are moving forward though, and this single Banshee turned away pretty quickly as well. So again, SeleCT's kind of just limited to what you can do with this, and that is keep map control, which at the same time, it's all you should be able to do with these early Hellions, with this Banshee without Cloak. I mean, it'd take a pretty big mistake, pretty big blunder from the Zerg to do anything to actually let you do damage with this kind of composition, I think. So, no real shame so far. JonnyREcco making 5 roaches just defensively. He is getting melee upgrades. He has just got Bane and Nest down, I believe. Nope, I'm completely talking out of my ass. So no Bane and Nest just yet, but probably in the next 30 seconds or so to line up with his lair finishing for Bane and speed, and so on. So these initial roaches just to defend against these Hellions, because 6 Hellions is quite a lot, and this is just how he chooses to defend it. Comes forward and he won't be able to get either of them. Banshee should be able to clean this up if he wants to turn around and fight, but not going to commit too much. And again, SeleCT just keeping these units together for now, as his third CC morphing into an orbital command center. Again, ready to take the third base location. And once he's got that third base, you know, he's going to be able to start ramping up the production, adding on a lot more barracks. His reactors are going to start kicking in. He's going to start making a lot of Marines at a time, and that's when Terran really starts to become a bit scary. That being said, SeleCT has got his upgrades a little bit later than certain builds let you get your upgrades. I mean, this is the kind of build which says I'm going to be super safe and get my upgrades after my barracks. So SeleCT has been a little bit safer, but throwing away his upgrade time a little bit for it, as JonnyREcco is getting ready to take a 4th base down to the bottom left-hand side of the map. So JonnyREcco in full-on macro mode right now, and knows exactly what's up. He's pretty happy with the situation he's in, and he's just taking that 4th base as SeleCT's 3rd base begins to land and begins to get mining. So Medevacs are now on the way out, and you know, SeleCT, he could move out in about a minute once 1-1 finishes, or just before a minute's time for when 1-1 finishes. So maybe we'll see that. I guess he wants to move out about now if he wants to do that, so he can be across the map for when his 1-1 hits. And it can be pretty useful doing something like that. You know, you can force a lot of units out of your opponent. You can force them to make Banelings to defend instead of Mutalisks. And, you know, the gas spent on Banelings, that's gas that they really do want to spend on Mutalisks. So it denies the Mutalisk count by just a little bit. So every little thing like that is good, and as long as you don't overcommit, it's pretty much free to do, because it's pretty easy to just move across the map. And of course, if they don't make enough Banelings, it's very easily going to fall out of control. You can see here JonnyREcco will get 5 Banelings in. His centrifugal hooks is about to finish up as well, so should be no problem for him. His queens may be a little bit too far forward, but no, his lings and Banelings are plenty close, and SeleCT won't be pushing too far onto the creep here. Just going to take out whichever tumors he dares to do, and well, has he overcommitted a little bit here? Maybe he does pick up, and he will just sacrifice the rest of these units. And maybe just a little bit of an overcommitment, going a little bit too far onto the creep. Finally that Banshee gets cleared up, and JonnyREcco looking good right now. His 2-2 halfway done, his first Mutalisk's about to hit the field, and SeleCT just heading back home and regrouping with his reinforcements right now, starting to add in the mines to the composition now. There's reactors up on his factory, starting to wall off his 3rd base bunker up there, so just bunkering up, getting safe, getting set for the rest of the game. And yeah, I mean, JonnyREcco, he's moving some units around here and there. Counterattack getting set to go towards the 3rd base. A couple of mines just getting set into position, as well as SeleCT decides to clear out a few more creep tumors, which is always nice. I mean, denying that creep as much as you can, especially on a large map like Frost, is so important. And look at this, a drop loading up here for Select, so gonna head towards the natural with that, and at the same time keep these units in the middle of the map. Try and keep being aggressive. Needs to be careful though, because he can be overswarmed very quickly here if he isn't careful. A couple more mines locked down though, and there's some reinforcements for him. No, sorry, in fact that's just the dropships unloading here, so it doesn't want to drop in the end. Here's his reinforcements coming across the map, and Select doesn't really want to fight now because 2-2 is about to finish for JonnyREcco. His own 1-1, his own 2-2 is only just on the way, but JonnyREcco is actually going to force the fight just as his 2-2 finishes. Is this going to work out for him? I'm not too sure. All the Balins are going to start going down here, and as the Balins die, Select is going to be able to collapse forward onto the remainder of these units, which is mostly going to be the Mutalisks. These Queens are going to get picked off as well, and now Select has a little bit of a timing window where he can start to clean up a little bit more creep, and then back off again. So I think a nice trade for Select overall there, as JonnyREcco just looking for an opportunity to do any damage wherever he can, with these mutas maybe looking to pick off that medevac or so, but Select well prepared for that, and won't take too much damage. Actually picks off a Mutalisk there as JonnyREcco tries to get himself a medevac, but it just was not enough, and now Select going to group on up and keep on the aggression. Still down a bit in supplies. 2-2's about to finish though. And with 2-2 finishing, that's a good opportunity for him. However, JonnyREcco is saying, you know, I'm safe in this game. I've traded well enough to be able to go into Hive and go into my Ultralisks. So he's throwing down the Infestation Pit and he's going to start tech switching out of this, which is a little bit interesting. You know, he's given up Mutalisks to be able to do this, and I don't know if he's really had that convincing a victory in this game just yet, in any of the fights. So it's a little bit of an interesting choice to Select. Now going to start dropping to the left-hand side. Now we do have a run by set up to the top. Lings and Banelins ready to go. There is a bunker here, and there is actually going to be some mines burrowing as well. So this is going to be really nice and able to just deny this attack. And some mutas coming into the natural, forcing a pullback here from Select. And single overlord going down as well, as this zone buy is about to come in towards this base. And well, these this bunker simming the units up there, and Banelins are going to come around the side here, and they're actually going to connect with a lot of SCVs, a lot more than they really should have. Coming around the right hand side there, and Select just thought the bunker was going to be more than enough to hold on there. And I mean, it was against the Zerglings, and it probably would have been if the Banelins had been used on the bunker, but he just let the Banelins roll from the other side into a big clump of SCVs there. And now we see the mutas coming into the natural again, and even just killing a few SCVs right now is starting to really limit Select. Select on 53 workers against 80. Hive about to finish for JonnyREcco. He's going to be able to start his 3-3 at about the same time as Select, and now Select is going to try and take his 4th base, but he's got a little bit of a situation where these mutas are going to be able to pick it off, and Select does get a really good trade. He picks off a lot of Zerglings, but Zerglings aren't the real issue for JonnyREcco. I mean, he can remake Zerglings like that. It's the Banelins which were left alive mostly there, and 4th base going down for Select is not good. This drop has never really transitioned into anything on the left hand side as JonnyREcco prepares to take a 5th base. Mutas looking to pick off reinforcements. You have to be careful because it's a good chunk of Marines. As Select slowly pushing forward, picks up into a couple of medevacs here, and ooh, a lot of the mines starting to go down in health. Some of the mutas getting caught in one of the mines there though, and looks as though once again we might have this attack forward, and here we have it. These Lings moving forward, but pulling back very nicely. These mines really not achieving too much, but Select controlling very well at the same time. JonnyREcco looking to continue this attack in. His Baneling count is beginning to wither, but is it enough? Select kind to outskirts of the creep, and can now continue pushing JonnyREcco back. The mutas are heavily bruised, and that means that JonnyREcco has to be very careful with how he uses them. His 3-3's on the win. You know, for once in a TVZ, we're actually potentially going to see the Zerg at an upgrade advantage. So this is going to start changing this game around pretty heavily, as these mutas still just flying through the skies. And JonnyREcco sending these Marines forward. Has to be careful of his medevacs, but the mutas chasing them. The Banelins streaming in a few at a time, and that's not good, as JonnyREcco is starting to trade a bit too inefficiently here. That being said, he's about to kill off all of these medevacs. A 4 comes in to join the party, and it does get a good shot on the mutas. Is it going to be enough though? Another shot going down. The 4's now going to die off, and JonnyREcco looking as though he's going to clean up the most of this. That initial start of that fight was really bad for JonnyREcco, but Select just maybe overcommitted a little bit. He lost all of his medevacs to the mutants, and that was a big game changer, as now these mutalisks are starting to head up to the top side. Mine's getting caught in the middle of the map, trying to move across, and 3 of them actually used up on Zerglings there, which isn't what SeleCT wants. He wants them to be active and ready to fight, so that he can keep on pushing. 5 Ultralisks on the way, and JonnyREcco, throughout all of this aggression, he's found a way to be able to turn this into a tech tree, into a tier 3 tech. He's got his 3-3 as well, and JonnyREcco, I mean, time's just ticking out for SeleCT as he actually moved commands into the army there. He's losing a lot of the rest of this. And some more Marines stimming in from the other side. Some Lings getting caught out, and a couple of Overseers getting picked off as well. But here's the Ultras, and now SeleCT has absolutely nothing to deal with these, and JonnyREcco has opened up a 30 supply advantage. Drops starting to load up from SeleCT. SeleCT thinking, you know, hey, what can I do in this kind of position here? And maybe he tries to... I don't know. I mean, this drop's actually just flown straight across the tower, so JonnyREcco knows there's a drop coming over here, so he's going to be able to kill that off pretty easily. The drop to the right hand side is going over creep, so that's going to die pretty quickly as well. I mean, this drop's just going to achieve absolutely nothing. He actually just turns away with it. SeleCT finally gets his 4th base up and running, of course denied so much earlier on today by the Mutalisks in this game. So a lot of Ultras now retreating as well, but I mean 5 Ultras about to go up to 7. This is kind of scary. There's not really many Marauders out for SeleCT. He's got a couple of 4s still mixed in here, and he's heading over to this left hand side to try and pick off some of this, maybe this base or so. He's going to try his best. Oh no, the 4s are left in the middle of the map, and the Fungal Grove goes down. He manages to target fire down 1 Infestor, but it was the Infestor that already used a Fungal. And SeleCT, he doesn't have his medevacs with this army. It's on such low HP, the units are just going to swarm in, and this is going to get cleaned up extremely easily. And SeleCT just throwing away small armies, a few at a time right now. Really not what he wants to be doing as he loads up another drop. Just going to try and buy himself more time to build up here. Yet again, he's got his 4th base up and running. If he can just hold on and just kind of maybe camp it out a little bit, then that's how it is. So this drone is like, we're going to move over here and combine. I like the fact that JonnyREcco is actively leaving defenses over here. A few Banons, a few Lings, just to keep these bases alive. As the Muta's looking for an opportunity to do a little bit of damage here. 4 comes in from the side and picks 1 or 2 of them off. And still, JonnyREcco just moving around the map. And the map is basically his now. We have creep up to the right hand side. We have creep coming through the middle. We have the creep down to the bottom left where his extra bases are. And he's controlling both of these towers pretty well throughout this game. SeleCT has managed to max out though, but JonnyREcco is 1 step ahead of him. He's already heading into his next tech tree. He's going to start tech switching into the Great Aspire. And, I mean, JonnyREcco's done the hard part, which is getting to the point where he can get to his tier 3 tech, and there's always going to be a kind of an uphill battle for the Terran player once you let the Zerg get to this point, especially in the way SeleCT did, where JonnyREcco is actually a fair bit ahead in terms of supply throughout. You can see JonnyREcco just waiting here. He doesn't want to move suicidally into this Terran army, because why not? Why wouldn't he just wait and you know, harass here, harass there if the mutants try and pull the army out of position? And I mean, he's got Great Aspire on the way. He can slowly start transitioning into his he can slowly start transitioning into just Broodlords, and a few at a time. And then it's SeleCT who has to make a move, because the Broodlords will slowly lay siege to SeleCT's base. SeleCT's the one who has to move forward. The mines are going to start moving forward here. SeleCT wants to move out. He sees the army though. He's going to have to burrow these mines. He's on move command, and a lot of mines are starting to go down. But with drilling claws, they do burrow pretty quickly. SeleCT very clumped up here. A lot of these Banons do go off, and it looks as though SeleCT may just about be winning this fight. There's a lot of fungal growths going down, but there's a lot of medevacs in the sky as well. And SeleCT with one big fight is all of a sudden at a 30 supply advantage until JonnyREcco remaxes, that is. But a lot of these infestors are going to go down, and what went wrong there? SeleCT, all of his Banons blew up at the same time. None of them really managed to connect. And This base over here is actually not mining at all, as these mutalists try to harass, but Select's going to take this opportunity. He's going to move forward, he's going to go for the strike and start picking off these bases, and while this game is essentially even out from that trade, from that engagement, it's good for Select because he's going to be able to get back in this game. He's going to be able to take down some bases. He's going to lose one medevac to this Spore Crawler, maybe even a second here. No, maybe not. Ooh, a couple of Ultras, bad place for them to spawn, one of them taking a lot of damage. All these drones are going to go down. At the same time, what's this? Some mutas in the middle of the map still just going down here. Not really achieving too much. Trying to land an orbital command over here, but that's not going to be able to land because of the burrowed Zergling. There's a little bit of an army here for JonnyREcco. I mean, 5 ultras is pretty nice, but this army can pick up and get away in the medevacs. Some more overlords going down here, and finally Select can land a new base. And the problem is with that base, it's not a planetary fortress, so while he's going to be able to for a little while mule up here, it won't last very long. And look, there's already Lings attacking over here. JonnyREcco realizing the importance of this. And right now, look at his positioning from Select on the high ground. Is it going to be enough though? 2 4s. Can they help to take out these ultras? JonnyREcco's gonna Select picks up, but he's fungled and he loses so much here. But he's gonna drop on the low ground, and these infestors aren't going to be able to help out, and this base will actually go down. At the same time, this orbital command got taken out while Select was distracted. Now all of a sudden, JonnyREcco is at 20 supply advantage, but down a base. Resources lost much more in favor of Select. This game's getting a bit crazy, but Select's army is about to be picked off by 2 queens, and one medevac full goes down. And now Select looking for an opportunity to just drop somewhere, do any damage he can. Trades against a few Lings here in the main. And gonna sim it. He's gonna take down that Greater Spy, which is gonna be a potentially nice pick off if he can get it. But no, he's not going to be able to. And look at these Corruptors. JonnyREcco is ready for the transition here. 30 supply ahead once again as he picks off them 2 medevacs. And he's ready to go into the Broodlords now. He's ready to do the strike and blow. It looked as though he might have just lost this in the last few seconds. But look at this again. JonnyREcco killing off these units, and Select struggling for money. If Select wasn't getting these bases denied, he'd be okay for money, but he's not. JonnyREcco's doing such a good job as soon or before they land. Lings are there attacking the SCVs, and Select right now 24 SCVs to 54 drones, even army supplies. But Select's starting to run out of money. That being said, JonnyREcco is out of money. He's long distance mining. He needs a hatchery over here. He is completely out of money. And I mean, with time, Select gets into a better and better position in this game. That being said, not if his army gets caught in 2 different positions, which is potentially the case right now. I mean, JonnyREcco knows where he wants to fight at the moment. He wants to fight to deny this base, and Select's going to pull the whole of his army over here to try and defend it. The problem is, this is a very high-tech army. Ultras are going to start coming in, and some fungals going down. There's a couple of mine hits coming off, and it's so hard to fight this against these fungal groves. A couple of Vikings coming in, but it's not going to be able to do anything. Here we go. Select coming in from both sides, and he's just going to die from the top. He's still got some units on the bottom. He's actually still got some units on the top as well. Going to start kiting back with those. Kiting back over here. Oh my god, move commanded past the infestors. Could have had a few more of those, and this game. Select is still at an army supply advantage, and he's still mining from this base, which is better than JonnyREcco is doing. JonnyREcco, though, as soon as this hatchery finishes, he's going to have a lot of income on a pretty fresh base as well, so Select really needs to focus his efforts down there to try and take that down, or attack before that army supply advantage goes in the other direction. With 7 Corruptors on the map as well, though, you've got to remember that a lot of this army supply for JonnyREcco is useless at this point, so his army isn't really the best army you would expect it to be. There's only 5 ultras up here. These units are all going to start moving down. This base here is again that target, and he's going to move for it. He's going to go for it. There's these infestors, there's these ultras, but is it going to be enough? There's no medevacs, which is a huge factor against fungal growths, of course. Greater Spire still stands. We could see Broodlords if JonnyREcco had the money. Makes an Overseer to help with the mines. And Select just tiptoeing on the edge of the creep here. He doesn't know exactly what he wants to do. He's just sticking on the edge, thinking about it. Thinking about where exactly he wants to go. He's pre-splitting a little bit. Maybe now's the time where he comes in for this fight. JonnyREcco is splitting up as well. He doesn't have much. only 2 Banelings in the army. So we do see a few units moving forward to get rid of a little bit more of this creep. And JonnyREcco is going to start to be suffocated out of this base here as SeleCT just slowly moves forward into an advantageous position. All he has to do is take down this base and the game is his. All JonnyREcco has to do is take down this army and the game is his. Oh, Marauders coming forward and great snipes. 3 Infestors going down there, which leaves us with only 2 Infestors left alive and a lot more Marauders coming forward. And of course Marauders so great against Infestors, being able to kite them, pick them off, and against Ultras. These Marauders kind of getting suicided forward now though. But still, these Infestors, oh, 1 more goes down. That leaves JonnyREcco with a single Infestor. 1 more on the way in the production tab, but is it going to be enough? 5 Ultras still stand, 2 of them on half health. A few Banelings, a handful of Banelings. Another Corruptor going down here. Not many Corruptors left in the sky, so transitioning to Broodlords will become difficult. And SeleCT still has the advantage. As a fungal growth does land here, and I mean SeleCT's scared to completely commit, but here we have it. The units are going to stem in, and there's not that many Banelings. There's no splash damage at all apart from a single fungal growth, which does land pretty well to the left hand side of this, but most of the Ultralisks are going down, and to the right hand side the army of SeleCT does prevail, and JonnyREcco is going to get chased down. And all of these drones starting to fall, and these Ultras are going to rip these Marines to shreds though, and SeleCT is actually down 40 supply right now, but he's going to be able to kill off the last, potentially 2, the last Ultralisk. He gets the last Ultralisk. No, he doesn't. 1 Ultra remains on 5 HP. And JonnyREcco has an Ultra, he's got Infestors, he's got more Lings coming out, and SeleCT's lost absolutely everything. This time he's not got this base anymore, it's out of mining. This base is still mined for JonnyREcco, so it looks as though JonnyREcco is just about going to be able to do this. He's just about going to be able to do this. He's 60 supply ahead, he knows this base is over here, the Infested Town army is already taking that down. Some SCVs are being chased by some Lings, a single Marine as well, lifting up into the medevacs. But at the end of this game, 37 minutes in now, it's as though there's not really much that SeleCT can do anymore. These Marines, they're going to get picked off by these Lings. There's just an overwhelming amount of Lings. And as these Lings look to head up to the top side again, potentially, SeleCT's time in this game is running out. He's on 28 supply against 94. He's held on for so long. But how much longer can he really hold on for? Moving forward here with these Zerglings. He's going to come in. He's going to be able to maybe pick off these... Well, he's definitely going to be able to pick off these mules. He's got these Corruptors here as well, which are going to start killing off these medevacs. And these are going to start going down. But the Fungal Growth should go down to trap most of them as well. And another Fungal to help finish them off. These Corruptors are going to be able to clean out most of these medevacs in the sky, and SeleCT falls lower and lower in supplies. JonnyREcco looking as though he's going to be the winner today, going to be the 4th player in the SC2 Improved Winter League 2013-2014. 2013-2014 round of 16. JonnyREcco re-securing a base, and can't take Expo on this map. Sad face, slanty face. The emotions are high here today. And you know, SeleCT said you can't take an Expo. The thing was, JonnyREcco was so great at having Lings here as soon as a base lands. What SeleCT needed to do is commit army to defending this base, but because of the situation of the game, because he needed to be attacking, he never could commit army for the time it took to get a base up, and defend it into a planetary fortress. He never had that time, so it kind of all leads on from one thing to another. GG's called. JonnyREcco is the victor of the SC2 Improved Winter League 2013-2014 Qualifier number 2. A huge congratulations to him, and well played. So a huge congrats